Hi everyone, good evening. Hope you are doing extremely well. And as you all know, today we have event of investment banking. This is the first event of banking related sector. For this event, we have Mr. Ashish with us. He's a senior analyst at Technology Holding. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Squad Growth. How are you doing?
Doing good, Shaurya. Thanks. Thanks for asking. I hope the same for you and the audience.
Yes, sir. Uh, People, if you have any question, just put in the message section, and I hope you will all enjoy the event. Yes, sir. We can start the event.
Yeah, great. So I guess this is not a one-to-one interaction, so I'll restrict myself and not ask much questions before I start because that's what I do to understand how aware my audience is. But yeah, definitely. Let me start with my introduction. You know my name, right, Ashi Sudhira. I'm from Ludhiana, and at the same time, Um, I've been a part of, investment banking journey since last 3.5 years. I did my graduation from Punjab University Patiala, and that was in finance, BBA in finance, and then I did my post graduation from PGDM from NDM, which is PGDM in finance and marketing. From that, I went on to join HDFC Mutual Funds, where I was working with banking channel and at the same time the corporates for their uh, you know cash management and corporate finance needs. So that is there. Uh, until I realized that I need some more intellectual thing. I'll say like there was sales kind of a profile, but I wanted a intellectual sales kind of a role, and so I went on to pursue my um, financial modeling certification just to um, you know uh, recall my skills in financial modeling which I learned in my post graduation. So why I'm stressing so much on this is because so that my journey and uh, the mistakes which I have done, you'll not be able to repeat that in your career if you're willing to be a part of IB industry, right? So that's there. Uh, Post that, I joined Science Analytics, which was a KPO firm where I was working as a backend for investment banks in London and UK. I'm sorry, London, which is in UK, right, and in US as well. Mainly to name a few, Desera Partners, Liontree, Stifel, etc. I've been a part of, and then I realized that I have always been inclined toward the front end part of the business, and if you know anything about investment banking, then you must know that front end is the bigger piece. So I left the job and went on to join Yukon Capital, and approximately 2.5 years later, I joined Technology Holdings, which is a tech-based M&A firm. Uh, so yeah, I mean, right now working as a senior analyst and looking forward, I mean, to the Indian uh, side of the business. So yeah, that's there. Uh, Now speaking about investment banking, so Shaura, could you please help me with the audience? I guess this is just these are I mean college students, right? And what is the strength right now?
Yes, so these are college students, and the strength is, let me check, give me a minute. Strength is 247 right now.
Cool. Okay. So this is the first time I've been speaking in front of so many people. I have done this before, but yeah, not in front of many people. So yeah, I mean again glad that to be a part of it. Thanks, Shaurya, for this. Now let me start with investment banking. Like, what is that? And the audience is of a bachelor's, right? I mean, they're doing bachelor's, not a
Yes, so
postgraduate.
they are doing bachelors, either in first, second, or third year.
Great, amazing. So I'll tell you guys. When I was in my first, second, third year, in my bachelor's in finance, all this fancy things we have done to call ourselves, that we dominate the particular uh, year in which in which we have been a part of, right? But the more you do, the less it becomes because your knowledge purview gets so much diversified that you end up uh, missing out a lot of things, and that's what has happened with me. And I'm glad that startups like these, right, we I mean it's bringing you a great opportunity to understand different kind of career lines for you. So I'm gonna push my focus towards investment banking only. And so yeah, so investment banking, guys, by the definition, um, it talks about investment but from the corporate perspective. when you talk about, there are two types of banking in the nature: commercial banking and then the investment banking. Commercial banking is all about personal finance. It deals about your insurance, your current account, your savings account, your um, any kind of financial product you want to buy, like mutual funds, or maybe stocks, etc., etc. Right? Or maybe fixed deposit. So those are the things in commercial banking. That's how it operates. It's for the person at the personal level, right? And at the same time, corporate level as well. But mainly when you talk about investments, that's on the personal side. However, in terms of corporate, uh, we we call these banks as investment banks because we take care of the corporate finance needs. So the only distinction between an investment happening in commercial industry, commercial banking industry, and in an investment banking industry is, commercial banking takes care of the personal finance side, and we take care of the corporate finance side, right? Again, banking is a separate functions which are cash management, treasury management, etc. But that is mainly done by, I'll say, the corporates themselves. But the commercial bankers are the enablers for that. They provide the infrastructure, but the management is done by them only. However, when it comes to investment banking industry, we are the people who, we do the matchmaking thing, or all must be using Tinder, right? Or maybe Bumble, right? So we are, Tinder, Bumble of a modern world, or I'll say, modern Indian world, which is evolving into a great startup ecosystem, right? So what we do is, the one who needs the money and one who wants to park their money for a longer period of time to make returns out of it. Now, where do we park that money and who needs that money? That's the question. So startups, or maybe growth companies which are in a growth phase, or let's say, which are above the growth phase and are in the stable phase right now, and looking forward to be in the growth phase again. So how I divide, or maybe how it is generally divided in the market is, first of all, early stage companies, which are very pre-revenue or less revenue kind of companies. They are looking forward to angels slash micro VC or VC kind of investments, micro VC kind of investments, depending upon the series they are looking forward to. I'll come back to series later on, but just to give you a holistic view, that at very early stage, the funding is taken from the angels. These are the investors, and the one in which they invest is, are the companies. I mean, the ones in which they invest are the companies who need the money for fundraise. Sure, can you please give me a second? I need to grab a charger fastly.
Sure, sir. Sure,
Give me
sure.
a moment. So yeah, coming back to the topic, I hope I'm visible and
Yes, yes, you are.
audible as well to you guys.
Yes.
So coming back to the topic, so angels and micro VCs invest at a very early stage. These are the investors who are looking to park their money for a greater kind of return with a more risk appetite. And then these people in which they are investing are the startup companies, right? So that's one stage. That's a early stage. That's a seed stage, basically we call it, right? Then there's a next stage which is called growth level companies, the companies which have started making the revenues. Then a VCs come into play, the venture capital people, and then they invest in them, and they give them that kind of a fuel to grow more aggressively. So this is a second stage, and then the third stage is a stable stage where the companies are looking for more growth, and then they approach a PE fund, which is a private equity fund, and then I mean, the transaction size involved in the PE transactions is more than that of any of the stage, definitely by the nature, since these are big companies and need more and more, fuel to grow themselves. Generally, PE companies, I mean, the companies which are um, at that particular stable stage are a profitable ones generally. But yeah, definitely they need more fuel. Again, I'm not talking about modern age internet companies. There are many things like Geo, etc., are there which are profitable ones, on which we got to hear in 2020 only, right? Where that Facebook invested, or maybe Google invested, or Amazon invested, right? So not Google, I'm sorry, Amazon, I guess. So yeah, I mean, those kind of people invested in those companies. So that's basically three stages of the company. Now there are different kind of investment banks. The basic definition is always the same. We are the brokers in between, and we make people. We do the matchmaking between investors and the one who needs investment. However, there are different kind of investment banks. Some are boutique investment banks, which are mid market investment banks as well, which takes care of the from seed or to VC round. Generally, seed kind of rounds are dealt by the founders themselves as far as the Indian industry is concerned, because we don't have many investment banks who are running processes for early stage startups to get money, because the amount of involved is small, and at the same time uh, they're less likely to get funded, because the first funding is hard to crack. Again, the second is again hard to crack, but not as hard as the first one, because you get a chance to prove yourself by getting that kind of a money in the first round. So that's one. And at the same time, there are investment banks which are completely focused on a particular ticket size, that I'll not look less than maybe $50 million or $60 million or maybe $100 million. So these are the banks which directly get involved with the PE funds. Or sometimes what happens is, in an investment bank only, there are different divisions where they take care of VC separately and then PE separately. Okay, so that's how investment banking works. Now, as far as the hierarchy is concerned, how hierarchy works is, you start with an analyst. Being an analyst depends on whether you have done graduation or post graduation. Generally, you have done post graduation, then you start with as a senior analyst, and then you grow yourself to a associate level, then to from an associate level to a senior associate level, then to AVP, then VP, then SVP, then AD, then MD, and so on. So that's there. That's how the hierarchy works at IB. This is a very niche industry, and at the same time very volatile industry. And let's not confuse it with the merchant banks. Merchant banks are the ones who um, helps you to take you to the secondary market, right? I mean, obviously there's a primary and secondary approach. First, you have to go into primary, and then you get into secondary. Primary is a short term kind of thing, 5 6 days, where you issue your shares as an IPO or FPO, whatever it is, right? That's how it goes. So investment banks mostly deals with the, not mostly, but majority of the transactions are on the private basis. There are many I mean, a few transactions which are pipe investments, which are private investments in public companies. So yeah, public entities. So that's there. um, Other than that, merchant banks are the ones who deals with the public companies. They are the ones who take to the market and get to the issue. So, so name a few. To name a few, Kotak Bank is one. Kotak Securities is one. So I'm sorry. ICICI Securities is one. Axis Securities is one. SBI Cap Securities is one. And Ambit Securities is one. So yeah, I mean, these are like a few examples of the companies who are merchant banks in India. However, to distinct in India, there are many kind of investment banks. I mean, not kind, but many not many, a few investment banks. Rather, I'll say. Uh, First one is Spark Capital, and then JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. Again, they have a front end office, which are very a few kind of people office, and that's why I call this industry is a very niche industry. You have to have really amazing skills to enter this industry. I'll speak about that later. But yeah, I mean, to name a few, PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, EY, everyone has their, uh, I'll say different kind of, uh, I mean, investment banking divisions. So sometimes we call it as corporate finance department as well in some cases. When so investment banking earlier in India started for debt syndication. Debt syndication is basically, just to give you an history. Debt syndication is basically, I'll say, a group of people coming together and investing in one debt uh, security. It could be of any company, etc. Right, mid cap, large cap, whatever the companies are, which nowadays being done by mutual funds as well, through fixed FMP plans, fixed maturity plans, etc. But it's since last 20 25 years. I mean, the moment it began in India, it was for mainly due to for the debt syndication for the big corporates. Now, since the industry has involved in last 15 years, the entire I'll say landscape of this startup ecosystem has changed, or business ecosystem has changed in India. So so have investment banking as well, and that's how the major distinctions have come into play. Uh, so that's about investment banks. Other than that, speaking about um, like the skill set required to enter it. there's no bar on whether you should be a graduate or a postgraduate. Yeah, graduate is the minimum one. The other thing is, I think that's a major bar. Your communication skills has to be very important along with your conceptual knowledge. I mean, your concept clearance, or maybe your a skill set. I'll call it a skill set rather, because without concepts you may not be able to develop the skill set. Now, when I talk about skill sets, it includes communication skills, it includes financial modeling, it includes basic business sense, right? And I mean, that's the entry point of the industry, right? Obviously you need an advanced business sense when you grow into this industry, and that's a part and parcel of industry. Only you get to know how you don't only you know analyze the company's statement by not only looking at the financial statements, but looking at the financial statement from perspective that you understand the operations from each line item being presented there. That's how you drill down each and every activity. That's how we analyze a company. That's how we evaluate a company. Now, what happens is, this is like a major skill set which is required for you guys. Um don't I'll say, take your chances to go into investment banking field and give interviews and spoil your chance of getting into IB industry if you're willing to, just because you think you can be there. You need to have skill set, and if you don't have a skill set, it's a red flag. At least I won't hire someone if they do not know how to model a company. So that's a basic skill which is required. Okay, and that's why that is a major reason investment banks don't hire. I mean, very few investment banks hire freshers. I mean, there are very few, maybe from IMs or I'll say the ISBs of India, right? So that's there. Um, Coming back to um, the investment banking industry. Now, what happens is, how do we approach client? We approach client by using PitchBook, which are again a databases like FactSet, PitchBook, or maybe Cap IQ, or maybe nowadays Traction as well, etc. We find out the companies, and we then see that how much the revenue is. Every bank has their own criteria. So, for example, we can have a criteria of $5 million, and when or maybe $10 million in ARR, which is annual. I'm sorry, annual run rate. Sorry, yeah. So that's basically talks about uh, how much money you're gonna make, or revenue you're gonna generate in next 12 years, starting from this moment onwards. So and then we attach a multiple to which that uh, that's how the company is being valued. Let's say 3 to 4 is a standard in the IT services industry, let's say. So 3 to 4 is a common multiple, or 2 to 3 is a common multiple. That means your company will be valued 3 times of your revenue. So, I mean, there again, I can go on and talk about valuation and stuff again and again, but I would not like to go into that because it's a very lengthy, and it requires a lot of, not a lot, but I'll say a few sessions to understand how valuation works. So we get the clients, we sign the mandate with them, we have a timeline in place that in 6 months we are looking forward to this. Then we create information memorandum as collaterals. Then financial models we make uh, as a second step simultaneously. Definitely we do that to save the time, and then we go ahead and start, I mean, launch the process, market it to the investors as good as we can, then we pitch it ourselves. And then when if they're interested, the investors are interested, we get them on a call with the founders, we make them meet. Then everything goes well, valuation is there, which is everyone is agreeing upon. We sign a term sheet talks about all the valuation terms and conditions which are there, right? And it's a non-binding agreement, definitely. Uh, I don't have any obligation if I sign the term sheet that I have to close this process, right? So that's there. Apart from them, when we get the term sheet, after that we do a due diligence process in which whatever we have said in financial model, whatever we have done historically, or we have said in our information memorandum, is that really true or not? That's what the investor takes care of their own at their own end. Big firms like KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, etc. They do the due diligence, and other firms are as well. Some investment banks do their due diligence themselves. So yeah, that's there. Some have also provide KPO services to other investment banks. That's again another line of business. That's a full fledged investment bank. A boutique investment bank, the difference between a boutique and a full-fledged investment bank is that investment bank, the full-fledged one, offers a range of services apart from fundraising or M&A, or maybe fundraising. They provide M&A, they provide portfolios, they provide maybe stockbroking as well. ICICI Security is one example. They are a full-fledged investment bank, or they are a full-fledged stockbroking company along with an investment bank and a merchant bank. So ISEC is there, Kotak Securities is there, same way, right? These are the like biggest investment banks in India, as far as I'll say uh, full-fledged investment banks are concerned, right? So that is there. So yeah, I mean that's how we pass the due diligence state and everything goes well. We sign the shareholders agreement, which is SHA, and then after that, the deal is signed and you receive the money in your bank account and all. I mean, before that only you receive the money, I believe. So then SHA is signed because SHA is between generally the shareholders. So you have to be a shareholder in order to sign that document. So yeah, that's there. Other than that, I think I've covered most of the points here when it comes to investment banking and how to get into it and what are the skills required. Um, you can go on and on, you know, in grabbing skills which are very important. For example, start off with financial modeling, really important in your life. If you want to grow as an investment banker or a corporate finance specialist, because that is going to drive value, that is going to make you understand the business. Nothing else can, because when you talk numbers, that's where you get to understand that how this company is doing stuff, because you then a lot of questions arise in your mind, and that's the sole I'll say characteristic of an investment banker. If I have to evaluate, that will be my first and foremost criteria, that how well they are understanding, and how much they are understanding the business, and what are the techniques they're using to understand the business, the questions, right? The maturity in their mind regarding the business. And that comes with an experience, but at least basic understanding is. And if someone is giving that basic plus a bit of more intermediate kind of understanding, that's a better candidate to go ahead. So there's a competition out there in the market for investment banking firms. I have been myself struggling to get into this industry, but since now I'm a part of it, I think if you love long working hours, and if you want to make big money, if you want to make money through bonuses more, your fixed is obviously more, maybe 100% more than that of your average college placement if you go with an investment bank. I mean, I'm talking about a postgraduate degree, and sometimes in bachelor's degree as well. If you talk about the college like Stephen and etc., like Hindu and JMC, etc., right? So that's there again. Consultancies, IPs, they are like the top grabbing I'll say industries when it comes to the compensation. So that's there. Money is big, so is the stress, so are the long working hours. Uh, so I think I have pretty much covered all of the stuff. I think I can take questions now. If someone has any question, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
So we have a couple of questions, and we have filtered down the questions because some questions you have already covered in the session. So the
Yeah.
question,
Sure.
how much commission, how much commission fees do investment banks charge?
Okay. Any? I mean, that's it. Or any next
Yeah,
remark?
we have others also. How we can get in touch with investment banks? And this is there any recession investments in startups? These are the three questions.
Okay. The first question I think I'll be able to answer you guys, which is and second as well, but I want to understand it more. So the first one was commission, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, it depends, right? For example, um, the standard rate when it comes to fundraising process, it's 3 to 3.5 or 4% sometimes. Depends on the kind of transaction it is. The small it is, the smaller ones get more attached to it, the more big number attached to it, and then when it gets bigger for subsequent rounds, they negotiate and it comes under three or three, maybe max three, right? That's there. For a merger and acquisition, it is 4 to 5%. I mean, depends on again which what is the valuation level they're gonna get you, and then supposedly I have like three, uh, like the minimum valuation which they're gonna promise is the maximum, which as a co-founder or the founder I want. So that is there. So maybe I'll put it as 4%, and then if I go above that, that's 4.5, 5%, etc., etc. So that's the commission. And the second question was, Shara,
How we can get in touch with investment banks?
for what? What is the purpose?
For raising the funds, I guess, because he doesn't specify it, but I guess for raising the funds.
Okay. So getting in touch is easy. You can go to the websites and maybe email them or get in touch with them on LinkedIn. So quite easy. They're looking forward to clients, right? No, we are open to any kind of, not anybody. I mean, the if the deal falls in our criteria that I'll be able to do that, then definitely I'll be happy and take it up because those are the revenues for me and those are the clients. So you can approach the way you want, email, LinkedIn, whatever suits you.
Got it, sir.
And
And
what
sir,
was
the
the subsequent question?
last question is there any recession investments in startups?
What do you mean by recession investment? I didn't get it.
Sir, I guess he or she wants to ask like in the startups are not getting so much amount of fund as they compare as if we compare the
You're on
same.
your funding winter.
Yes, we can say that funding winter.
So question is there any funding winter in investment bank?
Yes, we I guess he or she wants to ask the same.
No, investment bank is not the one who invests their fund. Investment banks is the intermediary in between. So funding winter, if it is going around in VC industry, then investment banks are impacted by that for sure. And that's why I say it's a volatile industry. When I say volatile, that means first of all, it is very tough. I'll tell you, it is as tough as to climb a Mount Everest. I'll be honest with you, to crack a deal, right? Mentally. So when you try to raise fund for people, uh, you know, it's very challenging for us as well and for the company as well because there's a lot of data information sharing which you may not even have, but you need to make one. Okay, so that's there. That's what we do. But as far as the funding winter is concerned, everyone is impacted, either startups, either VCs, or investment banks. Because see how the flow works. Uh, in the recession, companies want to raise money, let's say, or maybe in any scenario, not even recession, in any scenario, companies want to raise fund. They come to us. We are the brokers. We are the intermediaries. We get them the investors connect, which we have. Now, if investor is not ready to make invest money, which is a so how it is flowing is investors are flowing it to through us, but it's going to the company and then coming back to us as a commission. Now, if the funding winter is happening here, how am I supposed to make complete this entire cycle? So I will not be able to make money unless there's a proper uh, you know uh,
Got
funding environment going around across the country. So
got it,
yeah, that's pretty much the answer.
got it, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for the amazing knowledge, for the wonderful session. And
Yep.
guys, 1 second, sir. Yes, sir. We don't have any other question. So please, I would like to please explain us about your startup, about your company which you are
Yeah,
working.
yeah, great guy. So as I told you guys, your knowledge purview get diversified and you get to know a lot of things when you work in investment banking, and especially I'm coming from tech side now. I am not a techie definitely, but yeah, I work in this industry in and out, so I understand what are the challenges involved. So we just innovated or we researched on a product which is Beats Marketplace. So I'll tell you the company's name later, the brand name later, but I'll talk about what is the Beats Marketplace. Beats Marketplace is basically, let me give you an idea of Beats first. So
Sir,
it is a music.
1 second, sir.
Yeah,
Sorry to disturb you, but the meeting will end in 5 minutes. So what you can do, just rejoin the same link. Another we will have 40 minutes, so then you can complete it without any break.
yeah, sure, got it.
Yes.
So let me just give you a brief about what Beats is, and it's a music technology platform where we again do the matchmaking. So I investment banker by nature, so matchmaking is I think is called param dharam, like religion of mine. So that's what we started as a product. So we launched in 2020 only. It's a Beats marketplace. What is basically a Beats? Beats are the background music or slash instrumental in a song. So if you listen to any kind of a song today, Honey Singh, Badshah, Raftar, etc., they are using beats to create a song. The background music is the beats on which they spit their vocals. Right? It's basically a product of hip hop market. Since the advent of Gully Boy in 2019, early 2019, this has gone come into a limelight, and this is expected, not expected, but forecasted to grow. Okay, there's a solid proof attached to it, and there's a lot of growth happening in last have happened in last few years, especially in the COVID times, since everything was on internet. Now coming back to the concept, the idea, not the idea but the product. I'll say the product is we are the ones who are giving the infrastructure. Now when it comes to beats are produced by, no, let's not complicate it. How do you make a song? First of all, you need to understand, in order to make a rap track, in order to make a song, you need three kind of things. First is the lyrics, which is again a creative writing. Second is the vocals are the recorded voice. Third one is the beat, right? Now when it comes to vocals are simply, which are being spit by which is being recorded by a record artist, right? That's one. And then there are lyrics is again being written by the same artist or some other lyricist. Now these two things can be done on your own. You don't need a third party. That at max you can go for a new lyricist, right? But again, that again goes into a remote mode, and you just don't need to meet them in person, right? So there's no problem in their thing at all. They're already communicating through different channels on internet. However, when it comes to beats, which is music, uh, like the background music or slash the instrumental, you have to visit a music producer to get your music production done. So I've always been a hip hop fan since last 15 years now of my life, uh, and always wanted to do something in the startup world because I want to do something of my own. Again, a normal flamboyant story of an entrepreneur, right? And every investment banker is an entrepreneur, if not now, but maybe 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line in their career, they will definitely look forward to it because that is a part and parcel of their life. Uh, because we get so much information about the industry, and that's how we end up innovating or developing something which is of very good use. So coming back to the idea, so you have to go to the music producer to get the beats, or you need to get in touch with them online. However, I mean, they make 4 or 5 beats and they send it to you. Let's see if the lyrics you have written or the vocals you have in your mind is matching the vibe or of it or not. So any which way they are getting standardized beats, not a custom made one. And gone are those days when the music used to be recorded on the instruments. It's electronic now, totally electronic. Everything is electronic. Everything is done on the FL Studio. Everything is done on the your PC, etc. So what we wanted to bring into the market. Now we have music producers that makes the supply. Then we have uh, the artists, which are rappers slash singers, who needs to consume that supply so that they release their final tracks at Spotify, Apple, etc., YouTube. I'm sorry. Now, how we act as an intermediary in between them. We have given them a beats marketplace named as illpeoplemusic.com. Now, in that illpeoplemusic.com, the one who wants to buy the beat, the one who wants to sell the beat, they come and meet. So seller, which is a music producer, they upload the beat at the platform. There is a catalog, huge catalog, maybe I guess 2000 plus beats are there. We have just live since last 4 months now at our version 2. The earlier one was a minimum viable product, which we launched to validate our idea. Now we have validated. Now we have gone full flow into a full fledged marketplace. Now they come, they buy beats, Yeah. So we have a catalog of 2000 plus beats and still counting because we keep on uploading. As in the sellers, we have more than 400 sellers at the platform right now and more than 2000 buyers. So the concept is that these beats are not is not any product, or it's not a commodity which we sell. It's a right to use asset, where what happens is you give the right to use this particular beat to someone, you license it. So in this industry so far is an unorganized one. So just like Uber and Ola came, and this was an completely unorganized industry, the taxi industry. They organized it and then they started, making money out of it, right? That's how that's similar to like the concept is similar. We are organizing an entire unorganized industry where a lot of things which meant to be done in a very precise way. We are helping sellers to monetize their content, their beats, and buyers to buy those beats and make a track over it and then release that on digital streaming platforms. That's the basic role of ours. Now, in that, we provide commercial discussions, negotiations, licensing, automated licensing, digital contracts, etc. So, if you come to us, you don't have anything to worry about. Everything is been recorded at the back end, and we are generating. So that's the product basically. So, if any of you would like to create or sell your tracks, sell your beats, or maybe create your tracks, it's a platform that you come over, you join us, and then you can start selling instantly, and you receive money directly into your bank account. There's nothing in between. Okay, you get money directly into your bank accounts when you make a sale. That's what our marketplace does. So it's a creative marketplace for creative professional people, serious people in this particular industry. So yeah, that's about Ill People Music. Any questions you have, let me know.
Got it, sir. By the way, what's the name of the website? Like, what's the URL? Let me share it with the community.
It's illpeoplemusic.com. ILLPEOPLEMUSIC.com.
Music.com. Got it.
Yeah, music.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, .com.
illpeoplemusic.com. Yep, got it. Let me share this with the community.
Yes.
And also, sir, this video is recorded like
Yeah,
a
sure.
it will be live on YouTube. If you don't have any problem, I will mention the same website link in the YouTube description also.
Please. Yep, works.
Fine, sir.
Yeah. So let me know if you guys have any questions on illpeoplemusic.com before we close the session.
Yep, 1 second, sir. So, like people don't have any question about it, but they are saying like it's a great platform. I am somewhere interested in music, so I will definitely try it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, follow us on Instagram. If you have any query, you can message us there. Uh, in terms of creating any content you want to create or start your rap or singing career. So yeah, I mean, we guide people, we mentor people at our Ill People Music, or maybe our WhatsApp number is there on our website. You can try and get in contact. But yeah, everything is automated. You can, everything is there. You can go ahead and check us out.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Thank you very
Right?
much, sir, for the amazing session. And anything which you would
Yep.
like to say to audience about ill music or about anything?
See, I'll tell you. I mean, in your career, right? Whatever you're gonna be, whatever you're gonna, I understand there are different phases attached to your life, and you should understand this as well. In the first stage, you seek money, you seek instant employment, and in the next phase, maybe you seek stability. Depends upon what do you want to do in your life, what are your aspirations, or you seek high growth. Whatever you do, you should have a clarity, and your phase one should lead to phase two. Not you do something else in your phase one and then something else in phase two. Yeah, that can be a derivative thing. Definitely can be across industries, but that certainly doesn't mean that you start doing sales in phase one and then you start doing HR in second and then teaching in third phase. So you should be clear because you will not get many phases to settle down. settle down, when I say, it doesn't mean marriage or something. It simply means um,
Money.
um, yeah, it simply means, how you see yourself in a career,
Hmm.
right? Proper plan. I mean, obviously, you all must be knowing about input, process, output, right? You should know your output first, then you should know the inputs which are going into that, which will go into that to get into that output, and then you should know how to process that input to get that thing to an output.
Hmm.
So, you should understand these things. I have two, basically, I'll say beliefs. I call them belief. A couple of beliefs I have in life. So the first one is that, your your luck slash fortune will never, I'll say, how to put it. Yeah, so your luck slash fortune will can only delay or early the timeline of your goal, but
Hmm.
it will eventually lead to your fulfillment of the goal, to the fulfillment of your goal, if the hard work is there or the smart work is there, whatever you want to go with. But there, it has to be there. Fortune has nothing to do with the accomplishment. It just only have to do has to do with the, either it delays or it early those timelines. That's how the luck factors you, favors you, right?
Got
So
it.
yeah, so that's a pretty important thing to understand, because I've seen that in my life, that we uh, always curse that kismat kharab hai, etc., etc. We should not think about that. Should always be working towards that particular goal, and you will get it. And I've seen this energy around you, right? Some people call it God, some people call it a universe. So there's energy around it, and definitely you should respect that industry, and have faith in that industry. I'm sorry, the energy, right? So that's one belief I think I would want to always share with every young student. Uh, there's another one, but I think I'm forgetting that. Again, that's an important one, but yeah, I'm able to recall that. Not much, I don't speak much on Gyan related things, but
Yeah,
yeah, since you all need it, that's why I'm giving it to you.
that's amazing, sir. That's amazing. Um,
Yeah,
yes, sir. I guess now we can end this session. I hope people you all
great,
enjoyed the session. You loved it, and definitely go check it out. illpeoplemusic.com. It's a great marketplace if you are interested in music. And thank you very much, sir, for the amazing session, for the amazing knowledge. We just love
great.
it.
Yeah, thanks. Pleasure is all mine, and uh, lovely to interact with you guys and take up your questions. You can reach out to me at ashish@illpeoplemusic.com to get the answers, or maybe whatever you have in your mind. So yeah,
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Bye, sir. Good
okay.
night.
Bye.